Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to yoga. I'm Trish, and today we're going to do a little bit of a yoga, Qigong, and tremoring fusion flow. Okay, so we're going to start off standing and just make sure today that you have lots of space around you on all sides, that you're not accidentally going to hit any piece of furniture or any walls as we move around. All right, so we're going to start off standing, coming to standing with your feet hip width or maybe a little bit wider apart. Have both feet facing forwards. And then from here, just start to spread out through the 10 toes. So little octopus feet opening up through the toes, grounding into the earth. And then take a nice deep breath in. Inhale into the belly as you exhale, feeling that breath and energy descending down through your legs and into the earth. All right, so let's keep the knees a little bit soft here. And then lengthening up through the spine, from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then maybe just keep the tailbone a little bit rolled under, so we're not sort of standing like this too much, so that all the energy can flow. And then just taking a couple of nice deep breaths here. So just taking a few nice deep, pure deep breaths, feeling the belly, feeling the lungs and the heart. And as we exhale, just letting that breath and energy descend back into the earth through the feet. One more breath. And then when you're ready, let's lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Now let's come into mountain pose tadasana, bringing your hands straight now, and then keeping the hands by the hips, keeping the pelvic floor active, belly hugging into the spine, and then pushing into your big toe pads. So let's start with the arms straight, and we're just gently starting to mobilize the spine. So in yoga, we're working with a lot of straight lines. A lot of the yoga practices are about engaging that internal fire. So with these straight arms, imagine you're cutting through any kind of energetic dross around you, as we also start to mobilize the spine, just shaking out any stagnant energy and just getting the blood and energy flowing, bringing the hands up to shoulder height. And then keep your eye gaze tracking on the fingertips of the hand going back behind you. So we're starting to open up through the peripheral vision as well, keeping the belly hugging into the spine, keep pushing into your big toe pads for balance. And then bringing the hands up so that your fingertips are pointing to where the ceiling meets the wall. Eye gaze is still tracking on the fingertips of the hand going back behind you. Maybe imagining those nice straight arms are just cutting through everything, clearing the energy around you, in all directions. And then bringing the hands back to shoulder height. And then back to hip height. And then from here, we're just going to soften everything. So from our yoga position with our straight arms, we're going to start to soften the elbows, soften the knees, and then letting the arms wrap around us now. We're still drawing the eye gaze back. And then with these soft arms, just softening everything, moving to a bit more of a Qigong stance. Now that back hand starting to tap through your kidneys at the back, and then the front hand starting to tap just underneath your collarbone to your lung points and kidney points at the front. So at the back, we want to start to hit those points, and then at the front, just giving a little tap. Okay, and then when you're ready, gently stopping the spin, coming back to center. Pushing into the big toe pads, lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and tailbone slightly drawn under. Keeping the spine long, and just taking some nice deep breaths here. Maybe closing down the eyes. Just checking in with the body. Notice how you're feeling as we get that blood and energy flowing. Noticing any subtle changes. If you're feeling blood and energy moving through the body, just breathing into that spot 3 fingers below your belly button to your lower Tandian or your Hara or your Kunda. And as you exhale, sending the breath and energy back down through the big toe pads and into the earth. Okay, when you feel like your breath and energy has returned to normal, let's blink the eyes open, wiggle the fingers and toes. Inhale, take the arms up. Let's come to a side opener. So if your feet are a little bit wider than hip width, then just bring them a little bit closer into hip width, and both feet pointing forwards. So option 1, holding on to your wrist. So bottom hand holding the top wrist, or take your hands and interlace your fingers, pushing your palms towards the ceiling. Lengthening up, shoulders away from the ears, drawing the lower ribs in. Inhaling through the midline, exhale, reaching across. Opening up through that right side, hug the belly in, inhale back up, swap the hands around, exhale second side. Inhale back to center, Swapping the hands. Exhaling across. Keep opening that top shoulder. Inhale back, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, second side. And inhale back, one more on each side. Inhale back. Last one here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release the arms. Roll the shoulders a few times in one direction and back the other way. Okay, a little shake out. And then let's take the hands back up above the head, interlace the fingers, push your palms towards the ceiling. Lengthening up, shoulders away from the ears, and then drawing the lower ribs in. So sometimes as we do this, our ribs will flare, so we want to draw everything back in, so we're almost standing in between two planes of glass. Okay, start to engage through your legs. So you want to start to lift up through the insides of your ankles, pushing in on the outside. Okay, and then from here, we're going to start to lift up onto our tiptoes, lifting the heels at the top of the breath. And then as you exhale with control, gently lowering those heels back to the ground. So you're just feeling all the muscles in your feet working, really engaging those ankles, engaging your calves, your thighs, your boots, and your core. So as we inhale, lifting up, lifting the heels at the top of the breath, and the exhale, gently lowering. So the end of your exhale is when your heels should touch the ground. Lifting up through the heart center. And let's do one more here. All right, we're going to come back up onto our toes, and then we're going to just gently walk along the length of your mat. You're just going to sway your hips from side to side, sway your shoulders from side to side. So just opening up. I'll walk this way. It's like you're wearing a high pair of stiletto or heels. You're just opening everything up. Okay, and then let's come back to the center. Inhale, exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, exhale, lower the arms. Roll the shoulders a few times in one direction, back the other way. Give it a little shake out. Okay, and then shake your legs out as well. Let's come into 3 releasing breaths. So keeping the feet hip width, I'm just going to demonstrate the first one, and then I'll cue through the next 2. So you're going to take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, you're going to imagine that you're gathering all the tension in your body, in your energy field. You're going to squeeze everything as tight as you can with the breath. So you're sitting back onto the heels. Legs are really active, so the knees are not rolling in towards each other, keeping the feet at hip width. And we're going to contract everything as we sit back and squeeze. Okay, holding that breath. And then when you're ready to exhale, you're going to whoosh, throw away the tension, keeping the knees bent. Make sure your knees don't roll in. And then we're going to hang in a forward fold. So we're just going to shake and release here. And then the first set, we're just going to hang in a forward fold. The second set, then you can start to sway your hips from side to side. Maybe start to walk your nose across to one side where you're bending the knee a little bit more, and then to the other side. So we feel an opening across the back, across the kidneys and stuff as well as we lift up through the belly. And the same with the third set. To come up, we bend the knees, and then we roll up through the spine one vertebra at a time and come back into standing, either in your mountain pose or soft like a TaiChi stance. Okay, so 3 sets of that. When you're ready, let's take a nice deep breath in, gathering all the energy and squeezing everything as tight as you can, holding with the breath. Really clench the fist, shoulders up to the ears, contracting everything in the body. If you can, draw a little bit more breath, sit back into the legs, squeeze and contract a bit harder. And then when you're ready, come forwards, release with the exhale. Whoosh. Bending the knees, and then keeping the knees bent, relaxing the back of your neck and just allowing the crown of the head to melt towards the floor. Maybe just shake your head from side to side like you're saying no, nodding it up and down like you're saying yes, allowing that back of the neck to open, cerebral spinal fluid to flow. Make some little figure 8s with your shoulders, your upper back, middle back, lower back and sacrum. And then when you're ready, let's bend the knees, pelvic floor loose, belly hugs into the spine, and roll yourself back up one vertebra at a time. Lengthening up through your crown, shoulders away from the ears. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth behind the 2 front teeth. And just taking a couple of nice deep breaths here, like we did at the start. So just breathing into that lower tongue in, that spot 3 fingers below your belly button. Expanding that breath up, and as you exhale, sending that breath and energy back down through your legs, through the big toe pads and into the earth. Softening the breath, softening the eye gaze. Finding that space of stillness with a soft eye gaze, so we're not taking in all that external stimulation from around us. We're feeling nice and centered, but with our eyes open, so we can be aware of everything around, but not letting it affect us. Okay, when you're ready, let's come into our second set. So taking a nice deep breath in, gathering all the tension, and sitting back and squeezing everything as tight as you can, holding it with the breath. If you can, draw a little bit more breath. Squeeze and contract a little bit harder. And then when you're ready, come forward, release with the exhale. Whoosh. Throwing all the tension away. And once again, just hanging in your forward fold. So from here, maybe some gentle movement, shaking the hip from side to side, nodding it up and down. Figure eights through your shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back and sacrum. Keeping the knees bent, belly on thighs, maybe starting to widen out through your hip crease, starting to lift up through the hips, lifting up through the belly, drawing the belly up towards the spine, maybe feeling a little bit more opening across the back. And then now keeping the hip crease nice and wide, starting to sway your hips from side to side as you bend one knee. And so you're bending the knee to bring your hips across to the side of the straight leg. So from here, as we get that movement of the one knee bent, one knee straight, with the bent knee, start to walk your hands across to that side and bring your nose across to the bent knee. So you start to feel that opening up through the back. Keep lifting up through the hip of your straight leg. Just breathing into the back, into the backs of the legs. And then evening it up. And then come back to center. Bend the knees, rolling up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Lengthening up through the crown, shoulders away from the ears. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth behind the two front teeth. Eye gaze soft, all eyes lightly closed. And just softening the breath. Just checking in with the body. Notice how you're feeling. Okay, let's do one more here. So when you feel like your breath and energy has returned to normal, we'll gently blink the eyes open. Third and final set. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Squeezing everything, holding with the breath, contracting. If you can draw a little bit more breath, squeezing, contracting a little bit harder. And then when you're ready, let's come forwards, releasing with the exhale. Whoosh. Throw away all that tension. And then from here, shaking the head from side to side, nodding it up and down. Little figure eights from your shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, your sacrum, your glutes, and then starting to lift up through the belly, lift up through the hips, opening up through the backs of the legs, swaying the hips from side to side and walking yourself across to the nose to the side of the bent knee. And so from here, if you are able to straighten both legs, maybe you can hold on to the ankles as well as an option. So as you bring your nose around, maybe grab the ankles of the other side. So from the side, and then so with my right hand, I've got my left ankle and my hand goes around the back. Yeah, so only if you can reach. It doesn't matter too much. It's just an option here. All right, let's come back to center. Bend the knees, roll up through the spine. Lengthening up through the crown, relax the shoulders away from the ears, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth behind the two front teeth. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. With the eyes lightly closed or eye gaze soft. Observing the breath and the energy. Okay, when you feel that the breath and energy has returned to normal, then gently blinking the eyes open. All right, we're going to do a little bit of shaking now, therapeutic tremoring. So I'm going to guide you guys through it. If you can't get into the the automatic tremor of your body, then just come into some normal shaking. So from here, we're just going to do a little bit of just shake everything, and shake your hands, shake your shoulders. My house is very old, and as I start to bounce and shake, you see everything starting to shake around me because when I fall through the floor, it's all good. Okay. Now, so this is when we're actively, consciously shaking. So the body actually has a natural tremor mechanism. So it's like if you see when someone's in shock or when we're cold, the body actually automatically shakes to release stress. Okay, so sometimes in our modern world, people are not comfortable with it. So when you see someone, a lot of times when someone's in shock or trauma, they're like, calm down, stop shaking. But it's actually quite a natural thing. If you look at animals, they start to, like a animal might get something, you shake it out, and then they're all good again. So, so this is from shaking medicine, which is a modality that we're sort of incorporating a little bit into here today. So from here, we're going to try to find that natural tremor within the body. Okay, so I want you to just stand with your feet hip width, and then from here, we're just going to start to bend the knees and then start to come down. And then from here, we're going to start to very slowly straighten the legs back up. So this range of motion that we are starting to explore so slowly is called our bandwidth, almost like a radio when you're tuning the bandwidth and you're trying to find that station. Okay, so now within that bandwidth, now I want you to move really slowly and try to find those points where you're feeling a little shake in your leg. And then with that shake, I want you to just try to feel into it and just let that shake take over. So you can kind of bring, once you've got that, found that shake, you can try to bring the legs a little bit higher up and then start to feel that shaking in your body. So if that's not working, we'll kind of try to find another range of motion where maybe you're just bringing your weight onto one leg, and then you're just lifting one heel, and then you're slowly lowering that heel to the ground. And then so sometimes when we move with conscious movement, we are really engaging all the muscles. So you might not feel that tremor. So I'm going to relax the muscles a little bit so that your core's still active, and then you can just try to find that little point where when you relax your quad, you'll start to feel the shake. If your quad is very active when you are doing that conscious movement, so I'm training you guys a lot with conscious movement, so it might be a little bit hard to find. So I want you to relax the quad, and the more slowly that you can move, you can try to find that point where you get a little shake. And so we want to try to catch onto that shake, maybe hum into it, and then feeling that shake starting to move through the body. So once you've got that shake, you can start to hum into it. So inhaling into it, and as you exhale, making a humming sound. And as we practice moving that sound through our body in our yin classes, you can maybe start to move that tremor with the sound into other parts of the body. So have a play with that, and maybe getting that shaking through your legs. If you've already got it from that first bandwidth, then you can bend the knees and then bringing that little shaking up. So we're just releasing everything. And so if you've got one leg, then bring it across to the other leg. So if you've done one leg, then you're doing the other leg. And so we want to keep everything relatively relaxed, all your joints especially, or keep the muscles relaxed. So we're just trying to open everything up. It's very similar to the sound when we're using the Brahman breath to try to open up through the particles. So just by shaking everything, we're starting to release those tight particles. Okay, and then so once you've done the both legs, you can maybe bend the knees and then straightening the legs and getting that little shake through the legs. And just feeling that opening, everything. And then from here, once you've got that shake, if you've got that through your legs a little bit, we're going to start to tuck the tailbone under, and then keeping the tailbone rolled under, belly hugging into the spine, gently starting to arch the spine. So this is our next bandwidth if you're trying to find that tremoring, and then finding that tremor and then bringing, or if you've got it in your legs, trying to bring it up into your belly. You can maybe just lift the ribs a little bit and bring them back down. And then bringing it up into your shoulders. If you can't find it, feel free just to do some normal shaking. And from the shoulders, through your arms, into your hands and your fingertips. And try to bring it up to your neck, to your face. And coming into the mouth. So with your mouth, you can keep that tremor if you've already got it into your mouth. You can start to open and close the mouth to release the jaw. So sometimes, yeah, just opening and closing with playing. And you're feeling that tremor coming from your jaw up through your face, through your eyes. Maybe opening the eyes and closing the eyelids, and then just feeling that tremor in your eyes. You might still have the tremor in your legs, and that's fine. And then from the eyes. And sometimes it's very subtle. You're not always going to, it's not always a very big visible thing. Like I'm doing the one in my legs, which is quite visible, but sometimes the eyes and the mouth might be quite subtle. And I feel that tremor coming all the way up through your brain, the two hemispheres, through your pineal gland, and the crown of the head. And when you're ready, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And just coming back into our stillness. Just taking a couple of nice deep breaths here. Okay, when you feel like your breath and energy has returned to normal, let's gently blink the eyes open. And we're going to come into a little bit of yoga now. So let's take the arms up, inhale, and bring the hands into prayer. Exhale, bend the knees, and then bring the hands all the way down. And then from here, when your hands are down, bring your knees down, coming into tabletop. Okay, you can have your toes tucked under or untucked. Let's do a couple of cat-cows here. So lengthening the spine, inhale. As you exhale, rolling the tailbone under, belly to the spine to the ceiling. Open up through the backs of your shoulders, tuck the chin into the throat, and crown of the head to the mat. As you inhale, widening hips and collarbones, belly hugs into the spine as we lengthen and arch. So let's do a few here, just mobilizing the spine. Just moving with the breath as we inhale, arching, opening through the front. And as we exhale, rounding under and pushing a spent breath out through the back. Let's do one more here. All right. And the next one, come back into neutral, tuck your toes under, inhale. As you exhale, slide your hips up into down dog. Pushing the weight back into the hips, so maybe lifting the heels, bending the knees and folding the belly to your thighs. Get that nice stretch out across the back. Widening out through the hips, or you can be in tabletop and walking the legs out in tabletop. Whatever's more comfortable this morning. And so maybe starting to walk the legs out, opening up through the hamstrings, backs of the knees, stretching out through your calves, your Achilles, and opening up through the soles of the feet. Okay, let's take the left leg back, three-legged cat or three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forwards, and between the hands, come onto your back knee, low lunge. Roll the tailbone under. Inhale the arms up. Keep rolling the tailbone under, lifting up through the fingertips. Exhale, bring the hands forwards. Nose on knee, inhale. As we exhale, just gently drawing the hips back, feeling a little stretch through our hamstring at the front. Inhale, back forwards. Bring your right hand down on a block or on the mat, and then take the left hand, inhale, reach it to the sky. Keep lengthening up through your spine as you inhale. As you exhale, hug the belly into the spine, twisting from the ribs. And then start to draw your inner thighs in towards the midline of your body. So we're lifting up a little bit more. Keep twisting from the ribs. And from here, we're going to reach that top hand forwards. Exhale, bring it down. Other side. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Keep rolling the inner thighs in towards each other. So we're not opening the hips, lengthening upwards, opening up through the chest, reaching that hand forwards. Exhale, down. Tuck the back toes under if your toes are up. Lift that back knee. And then take the hands behind. Inhale, high lunge. Opening up here. Option maybe to come into a little back bend if it feels good. Opening the chest, and then exhale, bring the hands down. Okay, from here, we are going to just launch that foot up for a moment with your hands down to support. And then flex your foot, draw that hip into its socket. Exhale, bring that foot down. Inhale, halfway. Lifting out of your lower back. Hands can be on shins or on the mat. Flattening through the back. Exhaling down. Okay, inhale, bend the knees, roll up through the spine. Hands come up. Holding onto the wrist or holding onto the hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reaching to the left. Belly hugs in. Inhale, back to center. Swap the hands. Exhale, reaching to the right. Keeping the lower ribs in. Imagine your body standing between two planes of glass. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the knees, widen the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, down. Inhale, leading with the heart. Hands come up along the sides. And then from here, bring the hands around. And then either interlace your fingers, bring your hands on your hips, or heels of the hands supporting. Lifting up through the ribs. Keep rolling your tailbone under, belly hugs in. And then coming into your nice back bend here, opening up through the heart. Make sure you're not crunching into your lower back. Keep lifting up through the back of your heart center, pointing the shoulders and sliding the shoulders away from the ears, squeezing the backs of your shoulder blades, squeezing your elbows behind you. Hug the belly in. Inhale, back up. Exhale. Bend the knees, widen the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Reaching out of the lower back. Exhale, hands behind. Inhale, rolling up into your chair. Keep the thighs active. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Step the left leg back and back into high lunge. Inhale up. And then exhale, bring the hands back to the floor. Step your other foot back, coming into plank on your knees or on your toes. And then come through your flow here, either knees, chest, and chin, or planking through chaturanga. Exhale down. Inhale through, opening the heart. Exhale, roll back into child's pose or down dog, stretching out across your back. And then when you're ready, just walking out through the legs. Okay, take your right leg now, inhale. Exhale, bring it forwards and between the hands, come onto the back knee, low lunge. Inhale up, keep the tailbone rolling under, just feeling that nice opening up through your left hip. Exhale down, hands down, nose on knee, inhale, or belly on thigh. Exhale, drawing the hips back. Widening through the hips, reaching the heart forwards. Exhale forwards. Bring your left hand onto the mat. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Keep drawing the knees and the inner thighs in towards the midline, twisting from the ribs. Keep extending the energy upwards. And then reaching that hand forwards. Exhale down, other side. Inhaling open. As you exhale, keep twisting from the ribs, but keep rolling the thighs inwards. Inhale that hand forwards. Exhale down. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, round into your front foot. Hands behind. Inhale, push into that front foot, come into your high lunge. Option to stay here, or maybe scoop the tailbone under and then coming into your back bend here. Inhale and then exhale. Bring the hands down. You can bring them on blocks around the mat and then float that back leg. Engage that back foot. Try to get it parallel with the ground. And then flex that foot, lift that hip, and then bring that foot forward. Coming to feet at hip width. Inhale, halfway. Excuse me. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhaling all the way up. And then take hold of your left wrist or interlace your fingers. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, exhale, reaching across towards the right. Hug the belly in. Inhale, back to center. Swap the hands. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, second side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, release. And then inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhaling down. Inhale, take the arms up. And then from here, you can bring the hands together or come back into a modified variation. And then from here, let's lift up through the ribs, roll the tops of your thighs in, and then exhale, come into your back bend. Only come as deep as is comfortable. Make sure your tailbone is rolling under. There's no pinching in your lower back. Keep the neck active, so reaching the chin to the sky. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bend the knees, widen the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Flatten out through the back, bend the knees, exhale, hands behind. Inhale up into our imaginary chair. Slide the shoulders down and then sit into your legs. Push into the heels, inhale back up. Exhale, hands down. Take your right foot and we're going to step that back. Hands behind. Inhale up, back into your high lunge. And then exhale, hands down. Step the other foot back. Coming into your plank. Come through either through your planking on your knees or knees, chest and chin, or full plank. Exhaling down. Inhale yourself through, opening the heart. Exhale, roll it back into down dog. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Stretching out about across your back. Keep widening through your collarbones, through your hips. Widening between the shoulder blades. You roll your armpits back towards the midline at the front of the body, towards the mat. And shake your head from side to side. Move up and down. Releasing the neck and drawing the ribs back up towards the hips. Okay, let's come back onto the left leg. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, bring it forwards. Bring the back knee down. Inhale up, low lunge. So option to stay here, or option to come into a little back bend if that feels good. Exhale down. Nose on the inhale. Exhale, draw the hips back. Get a nice little stretch through the back of that left leg. Drawing that hip back into the socket, lengthening the heart forwards. Keep the belly on the thigh. Keep that back hip anchored over your knee. Inhale, back up. Okay, we're going to tuck the back toes under. Notice this time. Lift that back heel, hands behind. Push into the front leg. Inhale up. Come back into your high lunge. Okay, from here, I'm going to ground that back heel. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Okay, so you might want to align your feet or not. So heels can be in one line. So in yoga, we keep everything in our, as I was saying earlier, in our straight line. So in our yoga stance, we'll have our front foot either in line with the arch or the heel of the back leg. Spread your toes wide, reach that line out of the earth. Feel like you're stretching the earth with your feet. Okay, pushing into the outside edge of that back leg. Suck up through the inside arch, suck that knee into the thigh. Roll your tailbone under, squeeze the glutes, and then feel like you're winding that left hip out to the side. And then, so keeping that front knee tracking over the second toe, and then lengthening the spine, relax your shoulders, take your arms out. Opening up through the chest, and then opening up through your ribs on that right side as you keep rolling, winding that other thigh out. Sink into the legs. Eye gaze over the front fingertips. Turn your front palm face up. Inhale, reach it back. Sun warrior, opening those front ribs. Eye gaze up. Exhale, forwards, extended angle. Bring the hand onto the thigh, hand, then lifting the other hand up. So we're going to push that hand into the thigh to feel that activation of your obliques. And option one, option two, take that hand out in line with the heel so that you can feel that nice opening and keep rolling that top shoulder back. Keep squeezing your glutes, rolling your tailbone under and lift out of that bottom shoulder. Okay, push into your front leg. Inhaling back, sun warrior. Hand can be resting on that back thigh or bring it into your front thigh, opening out. Exhale forwards. And then if you like, you can release that hand. Make sure you're standing between two planes of glass. Otherwise, keep that elbow pushing in. And then inhale back. Opening that front thigh. Exhale, warrior two. Okay, from here, we're bringing the feet, the heels in. So bring the toes in, heels in. Come into your goddess pose. So we're squeezing the glutes, we're winding the thighs out. We're taking more of a horse stance than a traditional goddess with the legs in one line. So keep your knees anchored over your second toe. So we've got a much more stable foundation here. So in yoga, when we do our traditional goddess, we're trying to get the heels, the feet in one complete line. But right now we're coming into more of a kung fu horse stance. So our feet are a little bit more of an angle. Bring your hands onto your inner thighs, reach your heart forwards. Inhale here. As you exhale, going to keep squeezing the glutes so that knee's not rolling in as we look over our left shoulder. Feeling a nice stretch across your back. Inhale back. Exhale, second side. Inhale back. Exhale, first side. Inhale back. Exhale, second side. Last one. Inhale, and then exhale. And then inhale, and exhale. Awesome. Let's come back to center. Shifting the weight to your back leg, straighten the front knee. So keep opening that hip, maybe come into a little balance, bring it with the heel. Shift the weight to the second side, and then back to the first side. From here, come back up and scoop yourself back into sun warrior. And then bring the hands down, lift the back heel, and then come back into this modified warrior one. Okay, from here, wait, bend into your supporting knee. Find that balance in your left leg. Bring your hands into prayer. Now I want you to flex, point the toes and bend the knee of your right foot, bring it through. Lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders. Just floating that leg up. Okay, and then from here, just holding onto the toes. As we exhale, we're gonna just bring that foot out. So you can keep that knee bent. Or you can lean forwards and straighten it. Okay, and then from here, come back up, bending that knee. Option one, holding the knee and opening out that hip to the side. Option two, grab your toes and open that foot out to the side. Okay, bend the knee, bring the foot back to center, and then exhale, release the foot to the ground. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, reaching to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, reach to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale down. Inhale, leading with the heart, coming up for your back bend, modified or full. Find your option here as you exhale, keep rolling the tailbone under, squeezing the glutes, opening the heart. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the knees, widen the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands behind, roll the tailbone under. Inhale into your chair pose. Exhale, hands come down. All right, from here, left leg goes back, hands behind. Inhale, high lunge, maybe a back bend. Exhale, hands down. Step your right leg back, come back into your plank, come through your flow. Exhaling down, inhaling through, opening the heart. Exhale, fall back into down dog. You're not going to stay here too long, so we're going to go straight onto the other side when you're ready. Taking your right leg, exhale, bring it forward. I'm just going to swap sides so I'm facing the camera. And then bring your back knee down. Inhale into your low lunge. Sorry, I just had to swap sides because I didn't think about it. All right, so maybe Sheila swap sides as well, so we're facing, so you'll be able to see me when we come up into our warrior flow. Okay, so from here, inhale. Exhale, release the hands, nose on knee. Exhale, bringing the hips back, get into your hamstring stretch, your half Hanuman here. Inhale, back up, grounding that back toes, lift the back heel, lift the back knee, hands behind. Push into your front leg. Inhale up, high lunge, maybe a little back bend if it feels good. Make sure you're rolling your tailbone under. Inhale, back up. Exhale, warrior two, yoga styles. Opening up through the hips, reaching the earth apart, little octopus feet gripping into the earth. Lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders. Keep winding that front thigh out. Hands are open, eye gaze forwards. Keep opening those back ribs out. And then turn your front palm up. Inhale it back, sun warrior. Opening the front ribs. Exhale, extended angle. Find your option here. Whatever feels better, keep opening that top shoulder. Push into the front leg, inhaling back. Exhale it forwards. Last one, inhale it back. And then exhale it forwards. All right, come back up. And then bring the toes in, heels in, hands in prayer. Okay, back in our goddess. Lengthen the spine, keep the tailbone rolling under, squeeze your glutes. Let's come into a yoga goddess for a minute. So try to bring, if it's comfortable for your knees. So generally we want our knees to be tracking over the second toe. So if your hips are open enough, try to bring your feet in one straight line for our balance. But if you find that your knees are rolling in a lot and your feet are right out, don't worry about it. Stay with your Tai Chi stance. Okay, come up a little bit. You can shift your, you're going to bring the weight to the back leg. Come into your balance perhaps. Option to stay here or maybe come a little bit deeper into your ninja. Maybe come into balance. Don't come too far forward. So you want to make sure sideways when you're doing that, that I'm not sort of bringing myself further than my knee. Okay, so if I'm coming down like this, there's a lot of pressure. Like if I'm kind of doing this and my knees rolling inwards, there's a lot of pressure on my knees. So we want to try to keep the spine tall. If you're leaning towards too much, then it's not good. So we're going back to the other side and then back to the back. So from here, right, this position here, open your arms, shift the weight, slide back here, come back into sun warrior. Okay, take the arms up, high lunge, bring the back heel up, bring your hands down. So we'll come into, find that stability first. Modified warrior 3, bring that back leg up. Bend your supporting knee. Okay, find that balance in your right leg, bend the other knee through, and then bring yourself through. Find your balance here. And then from here, option to grab the toes, and then maybe taking that leg out, maybe coming down. And back up. Otherwise, opening that hip to the side and extending that foot out. And turn your eye gaze towards the right if you like. Bring that foot back to center. Exhale, release it. Inhale, gather the energy. Exhale, down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up all the way, and then reaching to your right. Put the side bend. Inhale back, shoulders away from the ears, reaching to the left. Inhale back. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway. Exhaling down. Inhale, come all the way up for your back bend, modified or full, find your option. And then exhaling, reaching back. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the knees, widen the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, hands behind. Inhale, roll up into your chair. Back into the heels. Push into the legs, inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the knees, go on the hands. Step that left leg back. Sorry, step your right leg back. Come back into your high lunge here. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, release the hands. And then bring the hands back to the floor. Come back into plank. Okay, come through your flow here. Opening the heart. And then exhale back into down dog. Take 3 breaths here, and then you can play with a little bit of Qigong Tai Chi yoga fusion to finish off our session today. So, as I said before, in yoga, a lot of the active yoga practices are very much to do with engaging that inner fire as we squeeze and contract and release all the toxins and anything we don't need from our body as we gather prana. So at the end of it, a lot of times we need Shavasana. When we come into Tai Chi and Qigong, we are spending the time gathering that energy. So usually we don't have a Shavasana at the end. Okay, so take your back leg now, step it forwards, bring yourself to the center, and then come into goddess. Take a few breaths here. All right, we're going to come back to the first side. So bring your right heel out, open back up into warrior 2. Okay, so before we had our yoga legs, now from here, feel free, if this is a comfortable stance, to stay here because this is a fusion. Otherwise, in our Tai Chi, we have our feet roughly about heels hip width apart. So instead of your hips being open, your hips are on a 45, like in a more natural position. Take your arms out, and then we soften the shoulders. So like you're holding a big ball here. So as I said before, with the straight arms, we're cutting through all the dross. From now, we're collecting the energy of the universe. So start to maybe wiggle the fingers, start to feel that warmth in your fingers. And as we inhale, maybe feel a little tingling, we're gonna roll it back. So like you're holding and nourishing this beautiful ball of energy. As you exhale, we're keeping the core active, but we're rolling that ball forwards. And then inhale it back. So we're feeling that fluid mobilization of the spine, and we're also feeling that chi moving in our hands. Exhale it forwards. One more. Inhaling back. And then exhale it forwards. The gaze is up. Inhale back to center. Hold your ball. And back into your horse stance. Cloud palms. From here, we're going to just shifting the weight from side to side. If you like, you can start to take one palm, the top palm, pushing away. And then you can start to maybe draw a little figure eight with your hips as you do that. You're holding this ball. So we're bending one knee and then we're making this little figure eight with the hips as we draw. And see if we can start to soften our shoulders, softening out through the arms into the hands and the fingertips. It's just the breath and the energy moving us. All right, let's come on to the other side. So we're going to shift the heels, come back into your warrior position, open the arms, and then maybe align the feet. So feeling that energy as we inhale, we're going to roll it back. Exhale, rolling it forwards. Inhaling back. Exhale forwards. One more. Inhaling back. Exhale forwards. Inhale back up. Down. Okay, from here, we're just going to bring your legs in a little bit, and we're going to bring our feet to about hip width apart. Okay, we're just going to shift the weight, and then from here, we're just holding that little ball of energy, and I just want you to feel the weight shifting from one side to the other. Okay, and then now we're just going to shift the weight. So we're going to, this is why we did our little balance. So imagine that your body is full of water. As you bring all the weight onto that right leg, your left leg becomes soft. And so this one's full, this one's empty, and it's empty that it's so empty that it floats up. So we're going to shift all the weight onto your right leg. We're going to take the arms up. Inhale, bring the hands in front of your face. As you exhale, you're going to push the hands out. You're going to do a little kick. Yeah, so you're like kicking someone away. Then we're going to step that foot down. We're going to grab that person's shoulders, slide them back, and then we're going to punch them in the ears in your warrior stance. Okay, then we step back. Okay, now we're going to shifting the weight onto the other side. Then we're going to do the other side. Bring the hands up, bring the leg up. Hands are protecting your face. Okay, find that stability. Push them away. Kick them away. All right, then we step down. So we're bending the back knee, bring the back heel down. When you have your horse stance, your warrior stance here, you grab their shoulders, pull them back, and then punch them in the ears. Okay, and then you release, come back in. Let's do that one more time on each side. Okay, so we're going to shift the weight, shift the weight. We keep our knees soft. Bring the weight onto your right leg. Take the hands up, leg comes up. Push them away, kick them away. Bring the foot down with control. Bring that foot down, shift the weight, pull them back, and then let go and punch them in the ears. Awesome. Come back in, shift the weight, shift the weight, shift the weight. Take the knee up, open the hands, kick them away. Bring that foot down. Find that stability. Bring the weight forwards. Grab them by the shoulders, pull them back, punch them in the ears. Release. Back up. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Okay. Bring your hands onto your lower tandian. Feet are roughly about hip width, lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Okay, I'm going to finish off just with some Qigong breathing. So I want you to just bring your hands out now to the spot of your lower tandian, like you're holding that ball. If you want, hopefully you're feeling the energy now, but otherwise you can just rub the hands together and feel that warmth and that tingling in your hands as we start to tune more into our subtle energies. So keep the elbows soft. We don't want to be kind of squeezing everything. We want to be really relaxed here, and wrists are soft. So as we inhale, we're going to start to expand. It's almost like a breath accordion. So that's what that lower tandian, 3 fingers below your belly button, very important energy center. Also the point of your halfway of your body from your head to your toes, if you think about Leonardo da Vinci's man. So we're going to breathe into that spot, keeping the knees soft as you inhale, really expanding your ball. As you exhale, bring everything back in, keeping the spine long, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And then maybe closing your eyes and just feeling that energy as you inhale. You're really drawing in all that life force from the universe into that center. And as you exhale, going down. So this is also like our gut brain, our instinctive center, our physical center. With the inhale, or expanding, cultivating as you exhale, just refining and contracting. Okay, one more here. And when you're ready, I'm going to inhale, bring the hands up into your heart center. So once again, we want to have the hands like we're still holding that ball. And breathing into the heart. As you exhale, contracting it back in. Keep the elbows soft, keep the arms soft. So the heart is like our emotional center, or our emotional brain. In some traditions, we hear about the 3 minds, and this is our 3 minds: the lower, the middle, and the upper tandian. Also, in some traditions, they call the heart the bridge between the upper and the lower worlds, the upper being the upper chakras of your crown, your third eye, and your throat, and then the lower being your sacral, your base, your sacral, and your solar plexus. So the heart is the bridge. Let's do one more here. Feeling that heart with that radiant chi energy. Exhale, absorb it in, and then from here, let's bring the hands up. This time we have our palms facing outwards, and we're at our third eye center. So inhale, expanding, exhale, contracting. And so our third eye is also our pineal gland, the doorway to the other worlds. And the pineal gland releases a secretion of DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, which is released when we are dreaming, when we're born, and when we die. And that our pineal gland is decalcified, open and flowing, we can access more of that as well. It's a natural chemical that's created by the brain. Right, let's inhale all the way, exhale. It's like you're combing that energy field down. Let's do 5 more here. As we inhale, we're just bringing the hands up, pushing to the heavens, and as you exhale, bringing it back down. Up, and then this time let's bring it down in front of us. It's like feeling that energy just washing through you. Maybe opening the eyes wide as you gather the energy of the universe. So you lift up, reach out and reach and grab and gather all that energy from the heavens. And as you exhale, soften your eye gaze, soften your body, soften your field, so you're more receptive in your yin state to absorb all of that beautiful chi and prana. More here. Nice wide, looking up. Massaging that energy into your body. And last one here. And then you come back to center. So ladies, bring you, I'm not mirroring for this particular one. Ladies, bring your left hand over the right. Gentlemen, bring your right hand over the left. So lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders, keep the tailbone slightly tucked under, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and pushing into your big toe pads. Let's take a few nice deep breaths here, just feeling into your body. Noticing any subtle changes, being able to see the energy in light or colors. And when you're ready, we are going to just stir the cauldron and absorb all that energy. So we're going to start to make little spirals out from that center point, and your hand's going to end up on your solar plexus. So as you inhale, you're going to bring the hands up, and as you exhale, down. And when we get to the top, breathing in, and then exhale the other way, making the spiral smaller. Absorbing all that energy into that lower tongue yin. And you feel it's all nicely absorbed, just sealing that energy in. It's nicely sealed, then you can release the hands. I'm not mirroring, you're going to bring your left foot in towards your right. So from here, we're just going to imagine like you're just pulling up a sheet of silk and then bringing that left foot in and bringing it towards your right. Take your hands up in our fusion. We're bringing our hands into prayer. Exhale to the heart. Inhale here, and as we exhale, bowing your heads, namaste. All right, thank you everyone. Have a beautiful day. If you guys have questions or feedback, please feel free to leave me a comment, and thank you for joining, and I'll see you guys soon.